Happy Thursday, Lucky Lefty Podcast. The Onora boys are truly in the building. We are brought to you by Onora Whiskey, OnoraWhiskey.com. And it's that premium American whiskey, OnoraWhiskey.com. And if you're going to drink, by all means, make sure that you do so
responsibly.
You got to do it responsibly. Left, I'm feeling good, man. I'm feeling good. I might overdose on college basketball this weekend.
That's right.
With all the tournaments, my Illini play tonight, 5:30. Oh man, they cannot lose 3 times in one season to a football school. It can't happen. I cannot allow that to happen. If they lose to Penn State 3 times, I might pull. No, I love my hair. I'm not gonna pull my hair out. But I'm gonna be pretty upset, love. Be pretty upset.
Not as upset as I am of basketball related news with Shaun Kemp. What are you doing?
Come on, bro.
What are you? Did you not just see what was
going on with Brandon Miller? I mean, dude, I don't understand. I have to read the story, Left.
They got the video out.
Yeah, but I don't know what was behind it. You know what led to it. It's just unfortunate, man. I just saw the documentary he did with Gary Payton on NBA TV like last week. And he stayed in the Seattle area. He's from what, Marion, Indiana? He's from Marion, Indiana, which, if I'm not mistaken, is like maybe 2 hours from South Bend. If I'm not mistaken, I'm not too familiar with the geographics of Indiana like I am Illinois, but it's unfortunate, man. It's unfortunate. You see what's going on with him, what's going on with Ja Morant. You know, Phoenix Suns employees are probably going to get fired today because they didn't wipe up the wet spot while KD was warming up.
That's what it was?
He slipped on a wet spot, so twisted his ankle. It's crazy. It's just crazy, man. Let me ask you a question, Left. LL, help me out, man. For the first time today, I got my mani pedi, bro. And are you a buff or a polished guy?
Probably polished.
You a polished guy? It's my first time getting clear polish, love. My first time getting clear polish on the hands and the feet. First time. And I always thought, I never thought somebody was going to ask, I would ever have to answer chip or no chip. It's never in my life did I think I would have to answer that question. Like, what kind of polish do you want? Clear, chip, or no chip? No chip, I guess. I don't know.
This is definitely a show still about masculinity in all aspects, ladies and gentlemen. But
it is, dude. It is. But I like to take. Hey, look, I'm a moisturizer, bro.
Sorry. We naturally are.
I'm a moisturizer. I don't know about everybody else, but I take care of my hands. I like my feet. I like to wear sandals in the summertime. I like to have no socks. I like to have my toes out. You darn right. So you have to take care of the puppies. You have to treat them right. So you can air them out in the summer. You darn right. Before I came on the show, shout out to LV Products, Black owned.
That's right.
LV Products down in Houston, Texas. They give me my moisturizers, my shea butter, my scrub, everything, man. Check them out. LV Products. I love them. Me, my wife, my daughter, we love their products, man.
LV Products.
Yeah, I just oiled up the toes maybe 20 minutes ago. Just can't, dude, it doesn't make sense to get a manicure and then just have rusty toes, bro.
See, I never understood that either.
That's the dumbest, right? You spend money to take care of your feet, and then you just don't give them any daily maintenance. Let me tell you something, man.
The neglect you do to yourself. I don't understand.
Hey, so LL, what's up? Let me know. For guys, and gals, are you a polish or a buff? What's your preference? Polish or buff? Polish or buff?
Polish because it goes in line with being moisturized. You rather look shiny than look, just a plain Jane type
Well,
of deal.
depending upon the person, I've had some people buff out my nails, dude, and I'm like, man, these bad fellas are looking like brand new glass. But when you buff, that really lasts. It's like what, 2 days? You have good 2 days of a good buff,
Lasts about 30 seconds.
and then once you wash your hands consistently, you know. Left, I have some good stuff for you today. Before we get to that, Apple Podcast, Spotify, YouTube. Smash the like button, subscribe. We greatly appreciate you. Lucky Lefty Podcast YouTube channel. CFB Nation in conjunction with Irish Breakdown. Man, we spin it different. It's funny because I saw somebody say it's a sus convo. I just saw a Mav Hoffa episode. You know how people play, Paul's game. And I agree with cannabis. It's like the fact that you have to say pause or think conversations about taking care of yourself or sus kind of points the finger back at you. Because I feel that way. Like, why are you saying pause? Are you thinking about that? Like, the whole context of what I'm talking about is over here and clearly defined. But just for the sake of saying pause, you just want to say pause because that's the first thing that came in your mind. I thought cannabis kind of broke it down, like why he doesn't play that game and why he thinks it's kind of corny that things go that way. Check it out. I thought it was a great episode. Joe Rudolph and Gino Guidugli. Coach Guidugli. They met the media for the first time, Left. I'm going to give you an opportunity to respond. Then the quarterbacks left. The new quarterbacks. Sam Hartman, who you said might not be top 10 on yesterday's show. A lot of some backlash from that after the show in the comments.
I was definitely right.
Hey, I'm not here to debate. I'm just pointing out fans disagree with you, bro. Fans disagree with you.
Jordan Travis. We'll keep going.
That's all I'm saying. So, with all of that being said, Kenny Minchie and Sam Hartman met with the media. Very interested in seeing what you say about them as well. And there's a new spokesperson to replace Braden Lindsay for the quarterbacks at Notre Dame. We'll check him out as well. It's pretty good stuff today. I love when we get video from coaches and players. Who you want to start with, Left? You want to start with the quarterback coach, don't you?
You go wherever you want.
You want to start with the quarterback coach, don't you? I know you do. Coach Gino Guidugli, quarterback coach at Cincinnati, went to Wisconsin with Luke Fickell, and ultimately left there to come be the quarterback coach at Notre Dame under Marcus Freeman, who he coached with on the Cincinnati staff. He talked about a lot of different things, Left. He talked about a lot of different things. One of the things he talked about is just his experience as a player and just being able to pass that along to the quarterbacks in the room, which for me is a huge thing that I want to hear from him. Like, how are you going to work with these quarterbacks? But another thing he talked about was his relationship with the assumed starter, and that would be Sam Hartman.
Excited about it, and I think Sam is as well. And I think him coming into the situation he initially signed up for, and kind of the things that transpired throughout the first 2 months of that transition, we're kind of tough on him. But I think in the little time that I've been here, we've made up a lot of ground, and Jared's done a nice job of kind of accommodating to that, and he's going to be just fine.
So we're going to hear from Sam Hartman later. He's going to share his thoughts on Tommy Rees and him coming to Notre Dame and Tommy Rees deciding to leave. But along with what Coach Guidugli said right there, Coach Guidugli also told the media that he's been spending time talking to Tommy Rees, catching up on the way things were done. What are your thoughts on that, Left?
I mean, for you to think that you covered all that ground in a couple of days compared to the 2 months that Tommy was here, who knows? I know that you better get to going, that's for sure. So if that means you started fast, that's the first quarter of winning. Starting fast. So that's what we preached about. How fast can you get on developing these guys, getting them ready, especially a guy like Sam Hartman, who, like you said, who had an expectation coming in, the different idea that when he got here after a short time being there, and how do you recover from that situation? It seems that they have gotten on some kind of page, maybe not the right one, but they in the same book.
Yeah. He also went on to talk about the competition. He has 4 quarterbacks in the room that most people believe are college quarterbacks: Steve Angeli, Kenny Minchie, Tyler Buckner, and Sam Hartman. He talked about those 4 people. I'm sorry. And Ron Powers. I'm sorry, 5. You're correct, Left. I'm sorry. Put me on the petty train.
I mean, is he on the legit scholarship roster, or is he like a Jesse Bon Jovi?
I don't know. Let me double check that. But here's the quarterback.
That's all I'm saying.
Here's the quarterback competition according to Gino Guidugli.
Active proposition for you to come into a situation that didn't really have an entrenched starting quarterback per se?
I've been involved in quarterback, battles before, and Tyler Buckner and Steve Angeli and Sam Hartman, Kenny Minchie, all those guys are going to get an opportunity. And I come in at the clean slate, not knowing any of those guys, so I'm anxious to see what all of them can do. I'm anxious to see how they lead. I'm anxious to see how they retain information. I'm anxious to see how they perform, how they execute, how the offense responds to them. So I'm just anxious to get out on the field. I'm anxious for spring ball to start and keep building relationships with these guys.
Anxious ties to anxiety for me. I don't want you to have anxiety around them because I need these decisions to be streamlined.
Maybe he meant excited.
Okay, he can be excited, but I need him to be getting down to business. I need you to be evaluating film coming in. Like you said, it's a clean slate. But with the clean slate, you put a lot of options on the table that I think we can start eliminating the options that are not viable. Get it down to 3 and don't make apologies about it, because you're coming in on the back end of a situation because, like you said, none of them are your guys. So if you're going to do it, pick up to where it was last left off. And I think you should just handle it in accordance to getting ready for the guys that are coming in. The relationships that you're going to have to build, it just takes time. We got 5 months before the season. Spring ball's around the corner, and you can make a lot of ground, gain a lot of ground with that, but it's going to be a lot of basic things installed in the spring as well. Essentially, in the hopes of an offense that's more geared towards the pass. So where does Kenny Minchie fit in a clean slate? I think that's a very interesting question. Is it now based off of seniority? Is that how we starting it? I mean, it's got to be a starting point in some general feel of how things can roll out. Is it Kenny Minchie starting at 3, or is he starting at 4, or is he? Where does he start if ever it's a clean slate? Are we just doing freshman, junior, senior? So is it how are we doing it? So I would like a little bit more detail, but then again, it's hard. It's hard.
Lucky Lefty podcast, talking about the first impression of quarterback coach Guidugli. I have to say it like that. I just have to. Lucky Lefty podcast right here. Shaun Davis, Malik, Zaire, the original Lucky Lefty himself. he talked about his transition to Notre Dame and how the players have actually helped him learn the playbook. And there's one quarterback in particular that he said is further along than everybody else in that playbook.
Great in my room, and like you said, Tyler's probably got the most experience and most time at the helm, and he's early on been a great source of information for me, just understanding, hey, how did you guys read this last year? What did you guys do procedurally in these situations? And trying to accommodate me with the playbook. So I've been learning from those guys just as much as they've been learning from me.
So we're running the same offense as last year.
That's what it sounds like.
So it sounds like it's geared for Tyler Buckner because the offense last year isn't geared for Sam Hartman necessarily.
Well, maybe there are things they didn't get to because the quarterback wasn't able to really execute those things in the playbook that are there to be used and executed by Sam Hartman.
Maybe they're picking off where they left off of Tyler in season 2. I mean, in week 2, where they're kind of figuring out that development between pass and run, maybe trying to make it more 50-50. But he still had the ball in his hands a lot more than probably he would want to, especially after having an injury. But if this is a copycat of what Tommy was running offensively, I mean, where's the step up at? You know, Vegas got us winning the same amount of games as last year. But if we're doing the same things we were doing last year, where is the difference going to come in at that a guy that's been there last year can make the change and see? What are we doing differently? I mean, if we're bringing up our QB coach along to speed, who's bringing the offense up to speed? Because the Gerard Parker's offense wasn't Tommy Rees's offense, and we running Tommy Rees's offense. So is Gerard calling Tommy like, "Hey, how'd you do that one thing?" Or are we like, where's the line being drawn at? Because that's a little alarming that the quarterback is teaching the quarterback coach what to do. Not that he, just having, maybe that's a compliment that he was trying to give Tyler of having a handle on things, but the offense we ran last year wasn't a top 5 scoring offense. Oh, you're on mute.
I'm sorry about that. Yeah, when Jared Parker met with the media, by no means did I pick up that they were going to run the same offense. I think that might have been the starting point. But if you remember, Left, when he met with the media, he was very forthcoming about the different types of offenses that he was looking to bring to the offense this year to add to the scoring. And yeah, matter of fact, hear from Jared Parker himself. This is what he said.
I'll paint a very honest picture and then due respect by all parties involved. That's about all I would put with it, is that a very clear message was put across when I took the job that I would run unit meetings and do a lot of things. I was involved in every facet of building an offensive game plan, controlling the players over there in unit meetings and all those things. And that was clearly portrayed. During that time, I was offered by Coach Brown an opportunity to be able to call plays at different times during year one. And those would be different moments of red zone in different areas. When my number was called, be prepared. When it wasn't, serve the head coach and serve our offense. That was done. Year two, at a certain time at that point, things changed for a multitude of reasons. When my number was called, I was prepared to call those games and called them in entirety. So at that point, that's when things maybe changed to a full scope of calling complete games. And again, the details of that I don't think are fair to anything moving forward. But I was tremendously grateful for that opportunity. It prepared me for what this one's going to be. And that's really about all I would say to it.
Being gentle, thought he answered the question. His experience and what he can bring to the offense very well, because he wasn't combative. It's understandable. Like, what was being asked, but he also went to talk about the multiple offenses that he's familiar with.
In my first job, we were pro style with Coach Simpson, which was really good because I was coaching a two-back offense. And then certainly to be able to flip the gears and go to Marshall for Bill Legg. Doc Holliday was our head coach. We played spread and as fast as you could. We ran more plays than anybody in the country, led the country in passing, played fast. Didn't run it much. Came back to a West Coast style offense when we were at Purdue, which helped me, and I coached tight ends there. That was a different realm. An 11 personnel RPO approach through Coach Ronnie, who's now at ODU at Penn State. And then a little bit of variations in multiple things at West Virginia. So it's been good to be involved in all kinds, so to speak. I've been 10 personnel spread out, 11 personnel rocket and roll and go RPO. We've been in 12 pro style, and then what we've done here. So I hope that scope prepares us to be as multiple as we want to be here.
So what are we running?
Let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question, and then you can expand upon that, Lefty. Because I understand, like, based upon what Gino Guidugli is saying in the playbook from last year, talking to Tommy Reese, trying to catch up, Tyler Buckner giving you clues and checks and, you know, what we like to look at and everything. He's further along than everybody else as far as getting you acclimated with the playbook. Is Notre Dame an offensive team to whereas they can walk into a game and do whatever they want to do? If they want to throw 40, 50 balls and kill you, they can do it. If they want to run the ball 40 times and kill you, they can do it. There are offensive teams around the country that have the ability to do that. Is Notre Dame going to be one of those teams next year?
We have the talent, but I think when it comes down to it, what can your quarterback do best? Because it's about winning games. If this was a talent show or a beauty pageant, we would come in first because we could show you fast, tall receivers. We can show you short, fast, quick guys. We can give you the big maulers. We can run it in 2 back, 1 back, 3 back, empty, you know, wildcat if we wanted to, because that's how we recruit. But when we get to Ohio State, I don't want to see 15,000 formations and sets and personnel. I want to see some mismatches. I want to see us be up and down the field, north and south. Yeah, we can roll out in a bunch of different things, but what are we going to be good at? What is Tyler Buckner most comfortable with? What is Sam, if you're going to rotate both of those guys, do best? Where is it gonna be the signifying player at? Because right now it doesn't even sound like we know who our main guy we're going to. Who are we feeding? If you comfortable with 10, 12, 11, spread, 2 back, under center, who's the guy we're going to? Because you can feature any guy, really. At least I can appreciate us last year, us featuring an individual player. Because you can build off of that. But if you're not featuring anybody, we just running plays. I mean, what's the game plan of attack? You know? So but it sounds like we're running the same stuff as last year if Tyler is in the lead per se on this quarterback race, which leaves Sam even in a deeper pit because it's like, okay, I don't really know what we're running, but you saying Tyler's in the lead off of stuff we ran last year. But last year wasn't cutting it.
Well, they haven't been on the field.
They haven't. But
no,
I don't know.
They haven't been on the field. So Tyler should be ahead with knowledge of the playbook.
But I thought we was running something outside of what left us. Like, how are we going to run somebody else's stuff? I don't know.
I think the answer we settle on right now is we have to wait and see. What are they going to be running? Right? But it goes back to my question. Can they be a team that walks out on the field against a good opponent and literally choose how they want to defeat you on that day offensively?
If we're game playing week to week, I mean, that's the thing. You know, I do that with my team. I look at what we're playing and try to see what direction is the best to go with. But at the end of the day, I would love to be a focus on what is going to make us better from last year to this year. And we've identified on the show, the fans have identified it.
Yeah.
it would sound better to speak more towards that. Speak more towards, yeah, we're working our routes more. We're going to get into some more concepts down the field, things that we were lacking that can help us increase our score and differential going into next year. We know we can run the heck out of the football. That's our foundation, but we're trying to light the scoreboard up with passes vertically, and we got some receivers that can do it and some guys that are hungry. That makes me feel better that it's like, okay, you're acknowledging what needs to be fixed immediately to make it an immediate change. Now, if you going in there trying a little bit of this, a little bit of that, a little bit of that's like going to Golden Corral. Is Golden Corral good? I don't know. But do
Never
they got
had it.
everything? No, it's talking about never. Now you talking about you never had it. No.
Never been there, bro. Sorry.
Okay, now you never been there.
I have not. We have plenty of them in the area. I've never been.
So you ain't never been to a buffet style food place?
Dude, the last buffet space that I frequented was it was called. I don't think they exist as a franchise anymore. It was called Old Country Buffet.
Oh, Converse. Yeah, I've been there.
Yeah. I Old Country Buffet back in the day. I used to go to the ice cream joint 2-3 times. Easy.
Yeah, but then you can also get meatloaf, some fish, some fried chicken, some mashed potatoes, and that's what we sound like. Old Country Buffet.
Yeah. And that Old Country Buffet, babe, that was hype, man. That was like college. A little bit
I
after
don't want to
college.
be an Old Country Buffet. I want to be a Roof Chris, a damn near Cane's chicken. We serve one thing. And if you want a little flavor, we throw some bread on top of it. But it's the same thing, just different way. Let's be like In-N-Out. They only have burgers. You can dress it up, put a tomato on it, wrap it in lettuce, take the sauce off, but it's still a burger. I don't want to be Old Country Buffet because guess what? Your stomach hurts after. You got a lot of questions going on. It's hard to manage. It's cheap. It only works half the time. We're not looking to get the job done. We're trying to be a kitchen, a 5-star or 2-star Michelin rating. You can't even get reservations. You got to wait a couple weeks before you get the reservations. Anybody can go to Old Country Buffet. And if you young enough, you get in for free.
You're right. You're right.
So what kind of
You're right. My little sister used to get in free. You're right.
So what kind of structure is that? A collab effort. We got Gino and Jared making the mashed potatoes, Marcus Freeman bringing the meat. It's a big potluck over there at Notre Dame.
So basically, you said this before. At some point, the buck is going to have to stop with somebody.
The buck gonna have. Who is the ball going to in each game? Who is the star under the player roster going into the game? Who is the one to worry about? Because when you have a lot, you also have a lot of nothing. If we got Deion Colsey getting 2 catches, Dubai getting 2, Styles getting 5, and then you got JT getting 3, and then Aldridge getting 5 carries. It's like, what do we just want to? I understand that they haven't done anything yet. I understand that. However, I think strategically, maybe you're not wanting to give up what you want to do well yet. But taking from what we heard from Marcus Freeman and what he wants to see the team as, and what he ended up saying after what he ended up getting with Jared Parker was, this may not be the offense that I want, but it's the offense that can help our guys.
And I think, because I see people, dude, you've been in the position. None of us have at the University of Notre Dame. And you correct me if I'm wrong. I think overall what you're trying to say is You go into the spring to install. That's the purpose of the spring. To install the basis of what we're going to do, which means if you're installing, you have an idea already of what you're going to be installing. So that when you hit the fall camp, you take off running. So if that is the case, I see why he's playing catch up, because Jared Parker, probably in wisdom, is saying, you know what, I'm going to install the majority of what these guys already know. That's going to be our install. And then from that, once we get that, get acclimated to that, get that rock solid, then we can start divvying up special things and identifying. You know, some people in the chat say they don't know what they have. Jared Parker was here last year. He knows. He knows who the dudes are. He has to see Caleb Smith. Yes, he has to see him. They know what they have at running back. They know what they have at wide receiver. They know. Other than the early enrollee quarterbacks, they know. And he's about to go into 7-on-7. Gino Guidugli talked about that. You know, they're about to go into 7-on-7 in the next couple of days, and meetings with the quarterbacks and the wide receivers to focus on timing and making sure they're on the same page within the offense. So you have to be able to have an idea of who you are as a team to be able to install certain things and work through the spring. Because you don't want to use the spring to be out there guessing plays. No, you want to be out there calling plays based upon the installation, and the installation has been going on the entire offseason. Mentally.
Yeah. I think, if that's the basis or ground zero for where Jared Parker builds the offense, then, like you said, it is wise. But at the same time, what we did last year, I think, was just specialized to who we had at the position. I think if Tyler played the whole year last year, it would look different than how we ended the year this last year.
Okay. So
if I'm Sam Hartman, what direction are you going in? Because the direction of last year isn't the direction that's what Sam Hartman came to do. Sam Hartman didn't come to run a bunch of read options and take a bunch of unnecessary hits, trying to extend plays. He came to what I thought was the evolution of the offense with an addition of Sam Hartman, specifically to how Tommy was going to run things, which is less of Tyler, more of Sam Hartman. But now it almost seems like it's reversed, which I don't mind. I was saying if we're going to start like that and get a guy down the hallway, you might as well go with Tyler. It's more comfortable.
That has been your stance. You've been consistent in saying that. And he talked about his philosophy as the quarterback coach. Take a listen, Left.
My job, I feel like, as a coach is to pass on all the information I've gained as a player and as a coach from all the coaches that have taught me. And if I can pass that information along to these guys so they're a better player than I ever was, I think that's my goal. And how do you do that? I think you do that first by building relationships with them and building trust with them so that they understand what you tell them is an effort to make them a better player. And that's kind of how I go about it.
Trust. Quarterback, coach, quarterback. Most important thing that has to exist between the two?
I mean, yeah, but I've always liked objective coaches, like coaches that would be like, man, you suck throwing to the left, you suck doing this and that, but you're really good at this and that. This is how we're going to get better. I've always felt like objective coaches in the game of football have always gave me better results. This whole dating profile where you want to know my family and have a deep spiritual connection with, I just think is a little overrated. I think it helps in some instances, but football is too much of a result-based business. I think, some of that trust stuff comes in handy where, mishaps happen and you kind of on the same page on a telepathy standpoint. But overall, if our quarterback, how I would do it is my quarterback coach would come with a breakdown of all the quarterbacks in the room, what they good at, what they bad at, how I can make them better, and what ways I can do that. If you're going in talking about, yeah, I want to have lunch with them and walk the beach and get to know their psychology, how they grew up, and I mean, yeah, I get it, but it would be more impressive if he went in there and was like, Tyler Buckner, I don't really know you, but this is what the film tell me. I came to help you do this, and if you want to start and go to New York and do all this, this is what we got to work on going in next year, and I'm gonna need you to help teach me just whatever you was learning, so we can work on this together. But you know,
So you basically want Gino to come in like the Bears fans at the gas station.
yeah. But you know, the Bears fans at the gas station, you know, the one thing they're not gonna do, pacify you. They're gonna tell you right what you need directly. Whereas a coach is more, you know, whatever. But I really believe that Gino can do a lot to help these guys, I guess, mental and development as time goes on. But having a game plan is always the best course of action in the quarterback world, because that's what it's about. It's more about the ones and zeros than it is about the emotional side of things.
Lucky Lefty Podcast, Apple Podcast, Spotify, CFB Nation in conjunction with Irish Breakdown. Leave 5 stars. Leave your comments. We appreciate you. It's because of you we continue to grow and we get up to talk Notre Dame football. It's the home of the misguided passion. Lucky Lefty Podcast. We spin it different. You talk about that, Left, and he kind of talked about what he expects to add or take away from the mechanics of each quarterback.
Lower body footwork, I mess with, but upper body mechanics, I don't toy with that. I think those guys have put themselves in a position to be here because they can throw the football, and I'm not going to mess with that too much. Lower body mechanics and drops, we'll make sure we're doing it the way that I want it, but upper body they've got here doing it the way they do it. I'm not going to tinker with that too much.
Yeah, I think that's what you go to QB trainers for. You're going to throw how you throw. But when we get out there, I need these decisions to be transferred from the board and what we talk about to the field. So we get out there, I need you to, if we call a play and it says read the mic, when the snap of the ball hits, read the mic. That's it. That's it. Read the mic. The mic takes the cheese, throw it to the guy behind him. If he backs up, give it to him right now. And it's got to be 1, 2, 3, and 4. That's coaching. Now, if we get in there and you footwork's all over the place, that I know that you're not confident in what y'all talking about on the field, or you overthinking it. So, you know, I think he's right on that. You don't have time to focus on the upper body mechanics of things, you know. It's way more focused on why and what you're trying to get out of the play.
Yeah.
How do you make the play the most successful? As a quarterback coach, you really harping on that. And then when you get into the practice of things and individuals and you're doing your group work, that's where you work your footwork stuff. You work your footwork that translates to the plays.
Joe Rudolph, who is your new offensive line coach, also met with the media Left. And it's interesting because you know Coach Rudolph and you speak very fondly of Coach. And your times you were recruited by him twice before you chose Notre Dame, and even during the time you were considering leaving Notre Dame via the transfer portal. He was asked, what makes this O-line special, Coach?
Matchup, but the one thing as you're watching them, I thought one, you're coming in and you know these guys have been, you know, I got a lot of respect for Coach Easton. You know, he actually recruited me at one time and sat in my living room, and you know I know his approach and I could feel the way these guys care about each other is because someone instilled that in them, and that's probably one of the things that really stand out. You know, I look at Joe and Blake, and you see athleticism on the edges. That's that could be quite unique, you know, and I think is quite unique. And those guys, and then when they're as a group, you know, they're one of the guys. They're leaders in that group, but they're one of the guys, and it's, you know, they're accountable to one another. And I think everyone feels that from no matter if they're a returning starter or there's someone trying to work their way into the two deep, like they have a mutual respect for one another. That's pretty awesome to be around.
Yo, that little tidbit of being recruited by Harry Heastan.
That's all I
didn't know
need to
that.
hear. That's all I need to hear.
I didn't even know that. I'm like, yo, that's pretty amazing, bro.
That's all I needed to hear. That man go far. Like, no wonder why I like Joe Rudolph so much. Give respect to the elders. That's what you're supposed to do in the culture when it's healthy. You give respect to your elders. You acknowledge the greatness. And you say, I can only hope to fill the shoes of the past. So I got a lot of respect for what's going on. And I know my expectation right away. I'm not about to come in here lacking. I know that man before me. Great guy. Big fan. I told you, Joe Rudolph, on point, knows what to say. I'm not worried at all about the offensive line.
So you pretty much totally sold on Joe Rudolph, huh?
If you give respect to Heasted and let me know you got some common sense.
If Harry liked him enough to go to his house and recruit him as a player,
they drink out of the same water. They know what's going on.
I didn't play that. Did you play that as a kid?
What?
Like people drinking out of your cup?
No.
I didn't play that either, man. I remember as a kid, I was at my grandmother's house. My uncle came up behind me and ate some of my cereal over my shoulder. I threw the bowl of cereal in his face.
Yeah, you ruined the whole thing.
Yeah, that's nasty.
Yeah,
that's nasty.
I think some people are just born knowing that's not right.
Yeah, that's nasty. I'm sorry. I don't even like sharing with the missus. I'm sorry. Don't eat off my plate. Don't drink my soda.
To me, it's when the fingers hit the plate and they get to doing all of that. That's what throw me off. So you can have some, but when the fingers hit the plate and get the bumping into stuff, that's what grosses me out. Because your fingers, you don't know what, you know. The finger get to making and thumbing around my food. That grosses me out. The thumbing around the food. If you just quick, you know, you got to. I don't know.
So you think Harry Heastan left a good plate, set a good place setting for Joe Rudolph to come in and eat with this offensive line? It's pretty safe to say that.
Yeah, it was just vacant seats, but the table was still set. You know, we just pulling up and washing our hands and getting the business. And I think the huge indicator of the success was just the acknowledgement of what was before you. I think we didn't get that with the Coach Quinn before, and that's why you didn't have much success. You know, you was thinking you can, you know, rewrite something that was already there. I think you got to build on top of a great foundation when it's set. And when you try to do it over, it's just so much that you lose. And it looks out of whack like it did in those previous years. But Coach Heastan came back and set it up just right. And I think Joe Rudolph's going to take off like a rocket.
Joe Rudolph talked about the process of how he ended up at Notre Dame, and his family had a lot to do with it.
It was kind of funny. I was definitely not looking to go anywhere else. You know, I really liked the direction of Coach Pry, and I really liked what we had going at Virginia Tech. It just there were so many things that lined up, and kind of hard to explain, you know. And the more that I visited with my family about it, the more confident I grew in knowing this was the right place.
And then just with your initial meetings with the linemen, I guess what are a couple of takeaways that you learned from them just in the last couple of days?
Man, they're a close group. You know, they care a ton about each other, and they care a ton about Notre Dame. I appreciate them. They'll roll their sleeves up, and they'll work their tails off, and they'll pretty much do anything you ask them. So I'm appreciative of that group.
Remember when Robert Hainsey said the key to the transition for Joe Rudolph was going to be the leadership in the offensive line room?
Yeah.
He said it's going to be on the leadership in the offensive line room to make the transition smooth for Joe Rudolph. I think what we're hearing is that Joe Rudolph is picking up a lot of things just watching these guys operate because Harry's already set them in motion. They're almost like robots in a sense, like, oh, we know what to do. Like, we've been doing it even when Harry left. We've been rocking out just like he showed us. That's really good to hear that the players are taking ownership.
See, it's very similar. Joe Rudolph is coming to install a program on a system. So he's not getting a new MacBook. He's just getting on the MacBook to install a new program. You know how they got Word, Microsoft Excel. You got your numbers on here, your Apple TV app. He's just coming to install another app on a computer that was already built. See, the guy before came with his own computer. It didn't process well with the system at hand. It was like this is a foreign laptop. So we brought the original laptop in. Joe Rudolph just came on, get enter the password, new password, and let me just put a different program on there, my little sauce that I'm gonna add. But he's not changing the computer itself, the system. He's just adding a program. See, when you just add to the program, you get a better system, get better results. And that's all that's taking place here.
So basically, you have an NPC if you're a producer making beats, but Joe Rudolph is like a new plug-in.
New plug-in.
New set of drums.
Something you ain't heard before, but it adds nice. It missing that sound.
Okay. I'm feeling that. D-Rock Iris said something that I could probably, he said the media room sounds like it's right in the locker room. Actually, it is right there at the front door to the facility where they hold these pressers, and the players are facing the door, and to their right is the field. Practice is over, but they allow staffs, children, the coaches' kids to play on the field. And so that's usually the noise you hear, that the coaches' kids and their families are there and they're enjoying the football field inside. So, hey, it's all about family. It's a family atmosphere, right? Lucky Lefty podcast. So, first impressions of quarterback coach Gino Guidugli and also offensive line coach Joe Rudolph right here on the Lucky Lefty podcast. When we come back, he might not be a top 10 quarterback according to Malik, but we'll see if he can be number one for Notre Dame. It's the Lucky Lefty podcast. We spin it different. All right, Left. We had early enrollees and new transfers meet with the media as well. And one of those new transfers that met with the media was quarterback Sam Hartman. And we're also going to hear from early enrollee Kenny Minchie, who will be donning the number 8 this year. But Sam Hartman is very interesting. I think I'm very interested in hearing how you interpret some of the things that were said, Left, because it sounds like to me that Sam Hartman might still be in his feelings a little bit. But here's Sam Hartman talking about his process of choosing Notre Dame.
The biggest thing and the kind of the biggest reason was just there was an opportunity to play football and play football at in college at a high level. I think often I see people that are done with school or run out of eligibility or even have eligibility and declare, and that opportunity never comes again. And the thing I think that makes football so special is you can't just wake up one day and say I'm going to go play. There's very few opportunities, and the opportunities come and go very quickly. And I've played. This is year 6, and knowing how quickly a season goes by, knowing how quickly a game is over, and you're sitting there wondering, what I could have done and done better. Some of it's very grim and hollow, but there's a lot of great moments that I wanted to be a part of, and felt like the opportunity here was something that I could, take advantage of. And then probably on the NFL side of it was just, this is what you have to do when you go into the league, is come into a new place where there's not a lot of familiar faces, and the battle is definitely uphill. And you got to come in and establish a leadership role while also trying to figure out, and follow. And it's been, again, a lot, easier based just on the team. The locker room here is incredible, and it's just been very cool. I, just feel blessed to be a part of with these guys, and just, there's a lot of relationships, and sometimes you feel like there's going to be cliques, so you're not going to be able to fit in. You're this guy from a different program, and this and that, but I just feel like I gelled right in, and I've built some relationships that will be, lifelong.
A guy like Sam Hartman is in a very similar position, a very peculiar position, where he knows that leaving Wake Forest, he was going to be a forever backup somewhere in the league, not in the prime position that he was in at Wake Forest or similar to at Wake Forest moving forward in the NFL right now. So when Notre Dame became open, he saw himself as an opportunity to prove the haters wrong, put himself in a good standing to where if all things go right, he can get drafted to a team that will actually give him a chance and not just be a backup floating around a league that'll end up somewhere in the XFL or one of these other football leagues. So he thought he had everything set up with Tommy Rees. They probably collabed and collided together on how they were going to get him drafted. He probably saw Jack Cohn, saw a lot of opportunity there. But at the end of the day, when Tommy left, he felt like he lost his backbone, felt like he lost a little bit of that support that was going to get him to where he wanted to go on a plan basis. You masterminding with a guy, and then he leaves out, and you just have a bunch of uncertainty. And Notre Dame is just a good enough place to where you're going to fit in, you're going to find your crowd, you're going to have a solid time. But in the back of his mind, he knows that his window is probably a lot smaller than it was going into it. And he's looking at it like, like the NFL, this might be a situation where I'm just down. Like, I don't have a huge shot just based off of how the roster's shaped. These guys don't owe me nothing. I got to try to win a job as to where it was more spoon-fed previously.
He also talked about Tommy Rees, importance in the process. And this is where I think you start to see some of the feelings when he talks about Tommy Rees no longer being in Notre Dame.
Phrase 1,000 times, but kind of that whole process, it is what it is. I think obviously it was a great opportunity for him, and there's no hard feelings there. Again, we just got out of the QB meeting. We've been meeting since Coach Parker took the role, and then obviously Coach Gino's just kind of come in, and again, he's taking this thing by the reins for the quarterbacks, and along with that is just the quarterback room. We stuck together, and I knew Tyler a little bit before, and I had no idea who Steve was. Obviously Kenny was showing up just like I was, but it's a really tight-knit group, and I think a lot of that was buffered by just those guys and our relationship. But again, like I said, it is what it is. We kept moving forward, and we've been moving forward since. And obviously, spring break's coming up, and we're gonna, attack as much as we can. And then once spring break's over, it's time to start playing some ball.
See, this is a simple lesson of masculinity, and why masculinity is important, and why I love the quarterback position so much. Is because it only comes down to one thing. It can only be one big dog in the room.
Mm.
And the funny thing
now explain that. Explain that, because I think Mac Jones was a big dog, but I think Bryce was a big dog on the leash. He was waiting his turn to get off the leash.
The big dog over there is Nick Saban. That's the big dog.
Okay.
That's the big dog.
But you were talking about in the position room. We talked
In
about
the
the dogs in
position
position
room,
rooms yesterday.
they can
So
only
you're
be
saying there can only be one at one time.
they can only be one at one time from an ego standpoint.
Okay.
And that's why Sam was like, man, I got a bunch of these dudes. I don't even know these dudes. They showed up when I showed up. I'm thinking I'm about to slide right in. I'm the big dog on campus coming in because I got my boy Tommy got my back. Just like he had Carr's back.
Mm.
So he said, yeah, you got all that riffraff. Y'all don't, I'm coming in, I'm coming to play. Because I'm the big dog. Now you take Tommy out the situation. Nobody knows who really the big dog is. They all feeling like big dogs. So from a quarter, you get a little slights like, man, I got this guy. I didn't even know Steve. I guess whoever that guy is. Yeah, he said it. He said, shit, I know Ty a little bit. Steve, I just met him. I didn't know he was a quarterback. Kenny just showed up when I showed up. So it is what it is. And when we come back from spring,
Left going full
somebody gotta
petty
win
right
that
now.
job.
Left is going full petty right now.
That's what it is. Man, when it was me, Tommy, and Hendricks. I knew Tommy was the big dog. I'm like, okay, his smug self. Okay. I learned, do my little red shirt stuff, take little notes. I knew who the big dog was. But after Tommy, I'm the big dog. I was the big dog in the room. And that's why things started, when you're the big dog in the room, things don't work out for a reason. There's a reason why Ev led the country in picks. Because when he was not there, the big dog replacement was in the room already after that year. So when that didn't happen, that transition didn't happen, it didn't work. You can't just import a big dog when the big dog was, like you said, on the chain, ready to get off the chain. So naturally, it just doesn't work in the room. It's too much tension naturally. And that's why it happened how it happened. Now, the year after, there was no debate who the dog in the room was. That's why coming out, we look like how we look.
So you feel like Tyler has a better shot now that Tommy's not there?
Tyler is the big dog in the room. And Sam, knowing he's a big dog, coming into somebody else's crib, he like, it's one or the other. And he knows that. He's a little more uncertain.
Mm.
And naturally, he like, man, I ain't trying to be best of friends with y'all, because I was supposed to come in. Y'all supposed to be looking up to me. Now we looking up to Tyler. Why are we looking up to Tyler? You talking about he in the league? Of what? I'm the big dog.
And he was forthcoming and saying, yo, I came here because, it's a different look from the NFL. It's a different look from the NFL. He was honest.
I was about to, he said, because I came to take advantage. I came to take advantage of it.
That's what he said.
Because he said it wasn't a big dog in the room.
He didn't say that exactly, but those were his sentiments.
That's what he said. That's what he said. I'm the quarterback interpreter. That's what he said. That's what he said. He said, I know that the end of my career was that last game on the field. Because after that, I'm finna be riding that pond for a long time until I find one of these little leagues to jump in and play in. But he said, then Notre Dame called. that bat signal went up. He said, I could take advantage of that. Ain't no big dog over there. Look at what they just had. They had job for sale over there on Notre Dame. And the NFL like Notre Dame a hell of a lot. And I could go from kind of somebody to a big dog for real if I went over there. He was already feeling himself a little bit. He like Wake Forest winning all time. But he said, I could take off at Notre Dame. I could take advantage. Why would somebody say they could take advantage of something if they going into a situation where they got to battle for the job. He wasn't talking about battling. He like battling. Tommy Reese gave him that good old, you my guy. He gave him that you my guy conversation. You my guy. Just put them papers in, show up. I'm gonna walk you. He said, you saw what I did to our guy Jack. Look at Jack. Hey, man, listen to me. So they thought they had an under the table deal. That's what he's so salty about. I can tell you why that's the case because I was there. I was dealt a similar deal. Thinking it's all good. Team set up. They're like, man, they said we don't even got nobody. Then you show up and your main guy leaves. Now you salty. Now you halfway hater. You don't want you just like, man, I got these random dudes in here. Some dude named Angeli in here in my seat. This other guy thinking he running the show, teaching the QB coach everything.
Oh my God.
What'd he say? When the spring comes, everybody come back. You can only be one big dog. And we gotta play some football. So y'all can love all these meetings and
Wait.
Praise 1,000 times, but kind of that whole process, it is what it is.
It is what it is. Look,
It is what it is. He's in his feelings. He's in his feelings. It is what it is.
I think obviously it was a great opportunity for him, and there's no hard feelings there. Again, we just got out of the QB meeting. We've been meeting since Coach Parker took the role, and then obviously Coach Gino's just kind of come in, and again he's taking this thing by the reins for the quarterbacks, and along with that is just the quarterback room. We stuck together, and I knew Tyler a little bit before, and had
whatever that is. Stuck together to what?
no idea who Steve was. Obviously Kenny was showing up just like I was, but it's a really tight-knit group, and
it's a tight-knit group, Left.
He didn't say with him.
Come on, you being petty.
He didn't say with him. How you a tight-knit group? You just showed up a month ago.
It's tight-knit because now he's part of the pack.
Yeah,
like you said. When Tommy was there,
he said, because if Tommy was there right now, his meeting is, the guys, I'm teaching them a lot. I'm sharing some info with them. They catching up to speed. They helping me out. I'm helping them out. This man said, look, we all in this thing together now. Guy Kenny done showed up. Steve, I didn't even know who that was. I thought he was printing papers. He came and said he played quarterback too. And then you got Tyler over here leading the meetings. And
Tyler's loving leading the meetings, boy.
Oh, he loving it. If I'm Tyler, it's my team. Look.
You know how it was when you like that student that the teacher loved to call up to the chalkboard?
He said, I'll do it.
I'll do it.
I'll drive it.
Okay, Gino was like, who wants to help me? Who wants to help me with this formation on the whiteboard?
Catch up, what y'all used to call it. It's called Navy. That's what it's called.
Tyler was like, I got you, coach.
Yeah, no worries, man.
I got you.
Hey, Sam, you need some help after practice? Yeah, I got you, man. Yeah. See, that's all. It's all a game. It's a game within the game. And Sam,
I'm sorry, dude. Sometimes I have to laugh at how much fun we have talking Notre Dame football.
It's true. Sam know damn well what
Oh, man.
His back is against the wall. He knows this is it. So it ain't a lot of smiles when your backup leave. Because he like, there's no allegiance to me. I'm here off of a couple news headlines, a good last game tape. But none of these know me. You walking into ESPN. Nobody know you, Shaun. Not the dude that hired you.
You talking about right now? You talking about right now?
I'm talking about in general. When you first walked in there.
Oh, when I first got there? Yeah. I mean, I interned there, so a few people knew me, but
your first day is fresh on the job.
Yeah. Now my first day on the actual campus.
Actual campus.
In Connecticut?
They like, man, who is this?
Yeah. Yeah.
So you just you like, man, I just gotta put my head down and you see that it's always the backhand comment. I mean, he had to do what he had to do.
I actually saw Kerry Champion. I actually saw Kerry Champion in rollers, dude. I'm like, that was not the first impression I wanted with Kerry Champion, bro. It was early. It was like 7:30. She walked past me. I think she was walking to her people. And she was walking with Fine Bomb. That's the crazy thing about it.
Oh man. So, it's one of those good old quarterback competitions, in my opinion, wastes a lot of time in the spring. Because, I just feel like the coaches know who they want going into it. They just looking for maybe we get a surprise. Maybe he surprises and plays better. But they generally know they ain't making moves like this. Marcus Freeman didn't bring Sam Hartman to be like, I don't know if I'm going to play.
No, he brought him in, like we said yesterday. For people that were like, Sam just has to come here and play his role. No.
1 year? We don't need a 1 year guy to just come play a role. If he was a receiver, maybe like a Ben Skoranek, play your role. Ben Skoranek, he played his role.
Right.
He played his way right to a Super Bowl.
Yeah. So, the heir apparent, the one that will be rocking the number 8, early enrollee, freshman, Kenny Minchie, talked to the media. And, Left, he talked about why he chose to come in early.
I feel like it's big as far as like any quarterback across the country. You want to early enroll, get in as early as you can, learn the playbook because that's big compared to any other position. Coming in, learn the playbook, mesh with the guys, and everything like that. So I like just getting in and building a connection.
And then what's just kind of your first impressions of Coach Parker and Coach Gino?
Yeah, I feel like Coach Freeman, he elevated a guy from within, and I feel like he chose the right guy, and bringing in Coach Gino was big because he was with Cincinnati when they went to the College Football Playoffs, so having a guy like him coaching me and the other quarterbacks, I feel like that's big as far as my development.
He strikes you as he's pretty sure of himself.
Strikes you as give me the ball. Give me the ball.
That is.
He strikes you as give me the ball, man. Got a couple good, because the difference is between Sam and Kenny didn't come because of Tommy. Kenny called up there and said, look, I saw y'all got some vacancy. He didn't need no backhand closet agreement that he was gonna come in. He said, y'all got an opportunity. Oh, what's up? I'm up. Mark, for you, my guy. Sam had to get the backhand shake. Couple wings. Look, just come on in, man. I'm gonna get you right to the lead. Kenny just said, look, I see it. A couple good guys up there I can develop. Shh. Throw me the ball, coach. I'm here. I'm ready to get active. He's not somber and talking about the other guys. He said, look, they got Coach Gino. He was here at the playoffs. I can get some development. Notre Dame, everybody want to be here. What's up? I'm coming to win. I'm on Kenny team. I think Kenny gonna be all right. Now, obviously, he might go through the stages of, they got a couple guys in front of him, so he's working in where he get in, where he can fit in. But if it comes down to him versus Angeli, we'll see what happens.
Honestly, I think that competition is over.
Yeah, me too.
In my opinion, but hey, you still have to go through the process, right? What does he think about competition, Left?
This level, just because of the people that are here. But even like in high school, I didn't start till halfway through my sophomore year, and that came from injury from the guy who was ahead of me. So I've been in a spot where I need to compete, and it's not new to me, and I know you have to have patience. So
Can you talk a bit more about your competitiveness?
I would say it might not show, but I'm very competitive. I always want to win. Growing up, played sports, so that's kind of instilled in me as far as a competitive spirit. And I would say I always want to try to do the right thing and be the best version of myself. So
What's the biggest thing you've learned so far since being on campus?
Probably just like adapting to college life, being busy 24/7, school, workouts, lifting, coming to throw, meetings, everything. It's just busy.
Midwest guy, man.
Remember your boy from The Last Dance?
Yeah, Midwest guy. Whatever. I'm here. Love it. Love the attitude. You can tell he's focused on himself, really, and that's what you should be in situations like these, getting with your guys. It's always interesting the off-season throwing sessions when it's a quarterback competition because you see some guys working out without you, like, hey, okay. I see you getting some time in over there, Sam. I am,
Yeah. Yeah.
So, hopefully they include Kenny in getting that process, together. But man, I really love the demeanor. I don't think he's going to be caught up in the swell of the competition. I think he's really going to go in there and compete. I do like guys that very similar to a guy like Kyle Trask that, you couldn't tell Kyle Trask was competitive at all because he was just so easy going. But when that sucker went out there and took reps,
Yeah.
this he trying to show somebody something. Like,
Right.
So I
Right.
really do appreciate guys that are like that. He definitely reminds me of a lot like Kyle Trask in that attitude, man. He's just so, he says all the right things, but you wouldn't believe it because he's just kind of soft-spoken, kind of like, it is what it is kind of thing. But man, when they get out there and put on the show, you like, man, this dude came to win. So hopefully he carries that same attitude. So far, so good. So see how it goes.
Yeah, I saw somebody in the chat. I lost it, but I think he said it himself right there in that clip. Somebody said that Kenny Minchie won't be throwing until the fall. Kenny Minchie's throwing right now. Like, I don't know who misrepresented information to you or miscommunicated that. Kenny Minchie's throwing right now. So
Kenny Minchie, I'm telling you.
let's see. He got to talk about his guys, the 3 freshman wide receivers he came in with.
I would say coming in, Chad was telling me this is kind of year they wanted to bring in some playmakers.
Whoa. Chad said what?
Yeah, I would say coming in, Chad was telling me this is kind of year they wanted to bring in some playmakers at the receivers room. And coming in, being able to mesh with them early as far as a friend standpoint and just getting on the field, coming in on the weekends, coming to throw with them, being able to mesh with them. And obviously there's some athletes and I feel like they'll be able to play. And yeah.
So you're talking about Braylon, Rico, Jaden, 3 early enrollees at the wide receiver position in the class 23. He's been working with them on the weekends, doing extra throwing, rocking with them, connecting with them. That's good to hear. Because those are his guys. Let me tell you something, man. He's being patient. He used the word patient. He was like, I just have to be patient. But he feels like, my time is coming. Like, no, I'm good.
Definitely don't rush the technique in this instant for Kenny. I think he has plenty of room to grow where he is positionally on the roster. I think he can take advantage of a year like this, even if he doesn't necessarily play. But from how things are growing in terms of the coaching staff, getting a year under their belt, but also you learning the offenses they're learning. So you kind of on the same level in how it develops and grows, where a guy like Carr would be a year behind where that stage, that layer that they've added, which, keeps some separation between them for at least a year. But I think everything that Kenny wants is in front of him. He just got to continue to grow and develop in that aspect.
Yeah, Lucky Lefty podcast. So overall, Sam Hartman, Kenny Minchie, I think there's still some feelings there over the departure of Tommy Reese. They moved on. Gina Guidugli has come in. As a matter of fact, Kenny Minchie, I believe, shared with the media that he went fishing with Coach Guidugli last weekend at his house, and we're catching up on some things. So we'll see. You know, Coach Guidugli is reaching out to Tommy Rees. He's being caught up by Tommy Rees. Tyler Buckner's helping him catch up on the playbook. You know, it's a lot going on. They hit the field for the first spring practice March 22nd. Like Sam Hartman said, spring break is coming up next week. As soon as they get back, it's time for business on the 22nd of March. And then the pro day is the 24th of March, right there on Notre Dame's campus. Lucky Lefty podcast. You remember the quarterback position did not receive glowing remarks in the offseason last year. You remember that, Left?
Yeah.
They didn't have a spokesperson. They had no one to speak up for them. Braden Lindsey, just to go back to last year, this is what Braden Lindsey said about the starting quarterback.
He's definitely got confidence on the field. I think that's the biggest indicator of a good player when they're young. He's definitely the best runner I've had as a quarterback in college. And I think, you know, it wasn't showcased as well, but he's got a good arm. And I think as time goes on, he'll be able to make more smarter decisions as a passer. And that kind of comes to just experience. I mean, quarterback's the hardest position. There's a lot going on. So I think he's going to, you know, improve passing.
Not exactly a ringing endorsement from your wide receivers. Well, enter Rico Flores, 2023 freshman early enrollee. Hey, Rico, what's up with the quarterbacks at Notre Dame? How they looking?
I'm not gonna lie, they're phenomenal. It's a lot different from high school. They put the ball right here on your face, turn out it's right there. They do their job pretty well. They're phenomenal. I'm not gonna lie, they're phenomenal. It's a lot different from high school. They put the ball right here on your face, turn out it's right there. They do their job pretty well.
Hey, Rico Flores, your new PR person, director of media and public relations for the Notre Dame quarterbacks.
Said it's right there.
He said phenomenal. He said phenomenal
right
twice.
there.
He said you turn around, it's right there. It's right there with that. You can tell he has that Bay lingo to him when you listen to him talk. He has a little E40 to him.
Yeah,
when he talks.
yeah.
Has a little E40 to him.
Yeah,
You can tell he
yeah.
comes from the Bay Area. So
That's go. Hey, I'm telling you what. If he's saying it's right there on the face,
yeah,
that tells you
Yeah.
that the ball gonna be flying around a lot.
yeah. Hey, that cat Rico is getting his Rich Porter on too, though. That cat Rico's getting his Rich Porter on, bro.
Right? Fly guy. Throw it to me.
That cat Rico look like he's in a dorm room where Braylon and Jaden like, yo, I love the game.
Yeah. They said they're gonna be missing me.
I love, but if I leave it, are they gonna miss me?
That's right. You on the money, man.
That's that cat. That's that cat Rico, AK Rich Porter, boy. He has the Angel. Then he has the I can't tell from the still shot. Looks like he has the braided 14 karat. Then he has the longer, thinner joint. Okay, Rico. I like it, Left. I like it. Kid has swag. And we're going to check out all three receivers tomorrow, Left, on For the Culture Friday. I'm sure we're going to talk about snowfall. Season is getting ready to take off after this last episode. And then our guys from Rock Financial, Ryan and Tony, they're going to join us. If you have any financial questions, make sure you put it in the chat today, or, man, line them up early in the chat tomorrow. We'll make sure we put them to the side when they come on towards the end of the show for the Culture Friday. So tomorrow, Left, we'll hear from Caleb Smith, Braylon James, Jaden Greathouse, Drake Bowen, some of the other early enrollees. I like what I heard. Today overall, Left. Coach Rudolph, Coach Guidugli, Sam Hartman. You know, he'll get over it. He'll toughen up a little bit. He'll get over it.
It's gonna be a long road. If it don't turn out how you want to.
Hey, long leash or short leash?
Shortest in the history of college football.
You think he-
Unfortunately. He don't got a Drew Pine leash. That leash is
you know what time it is?
Petticoat, petticoat, petticoat junction.
It's time to get petty
We did a good job executing.
Are you upset with something?
and fire up the Petticoat Junction train.
I just don't like you.
You don't?
No.
What is today's petty historic Petty Junction?
Petty Junction, pettiest stories of the day brought to you by Onora Whiskey, OnoraWhiskey.com, that premium American whiskey, OnoraWhiskey.com. So, Concessions has been threatening to strike and walk out all season on the Chicago Bulls and the Chicago Blackhawks. And every time the news thought it would happen, they said no. And Concessions at the United Center waited for college basketball fans from all across the Big Ten to descend upon the United Center for this weekend's Big Ten tournament, along with families and friends. And they said, no nachos for you, no pizza for you. And they walked out on the college kids.
That's right.
Come on, fam. That's mad petty, man. That's mad petty. Come on, man. You got people coming to watch their sons play. And y'all just walk out on the college
That get their
kids.
attention. I bet it worked.
Dude, the Bulls and the Blackhawks are out west, dude, on road trips.
No, but I thought, don't they work for the college United Center too?
I mean, ultimately, I think this move was better because it wouldn't upset the pro teams. It wouldn't impact the pro teams.
Just take advantage of the kids playing for free.
That's petty. That's all I'm saying, man. That's all I'm saying, bro. And the United Center has the best nachos.
Really?
The absolute best dessert tray. Dude, they have that chocolate cookie ice cream joint with the big cookie with the single scoop of vanilla on top. Bruh.
Oh, the Bazookies?
Yes.
The BJ's finest.
I'll give it to Jerry Reinsdorf. Bad teams, great facilities, and great food at his stadiums.
Hell yeah.
Great. You know, it's Chicago, so you're always going to get you a good hot dog. Always. Italian beef is fire.
Yep.
You know, I think the last I checked, they had, I forget who the pizza sponsor was. But yeah, it's some pretty good food, bro. Some pretty good food. But that was mad petty to take it out on the kids. When you've been threatening to, all season, you've been threatening to walk out on the NHL and NBA season. It's ridiculous. I thought that was mad petty. And like I said, the guys that are supposed to keep the court clear for the Phoenix Suns, let me tell you something. Well, you messing with $50 million right there. That's a big asset you messing with, boy. You almost ruined Chris Paul's career, leaving that wet spot out there. I hope they go to the video and review it just to find the dude that didn't do his job.
Does a road ankle really take you out the game like that, though?
No, I mean, he probably would have played. He probably would have played. You know, if it was an important game, but you know, I understand Monty Williams telling him, like, hey, relax. I get it. Petty train, but round of applause to my boy, Fred VanVleet.
I'll take a fine. I don't really care. I thought, Ben Taylor was fucking terrible tonight. I thought that on most nights, a couple of the, out of the three, there's one or two that just fucked the game up, and it's been like that a couple games in a row. Denver was tough, obviously. You come out tonight, you're competing pretty hard. The third quarter, I get a bullshit tech, changes the whole dynamic of the game, changes the whole flow of the game. And, most of the refs are trying hard. I like a lot of the refs are trying hard. They're pretty fair. They communicate well. And then you got the other ones who just want to be dicks and just kind of fucks the game up. Nobody's coming to see that shit. They come to see the players. And I think we're losing a little bit of the fabric of what the NBA is and was. And it's been disappointing this season. You could look up most of my texts this year have been with Ben Taylor officiating. So at a certain point as a player, you feel it's personal. And it's never a good place to be. That's not why we lost tonight. We got outplayed. But it definitely makes it tougher to overcome.
Yo, when you start out saying, look, I'll take the fine, you already know what's coming. You already know what's coming.
Yeah.
That man started off the presser like, man, y'all send me the invoice.
Yeah, because this needs to be addressed. He is totally wrong, and it needs to be said.
Yo, it's petty because he went directly at that ref, but it needed to be said because the officiating has been ridiculous, and it's been some ridiculous. They gave a tech to his teammate
Jordan Poole. Oh,
they gave one to Jordan Poole the other night for throwing the ball back to the
ball to
ref.
All to him.
Right, and it's crazy. And then they gave one the other night to his Fred VanVleet's teammate. Was like talking to himself as he walked by the ref.
Oh, Scotty Barnes.
Scotty Barnes. And it's like, what are we doing?
Well, they said Scotty said that they was cheating and they took it as disrespect to the integrity of reffing or something.
Oh. They do be cheating, dude.
They do be cheating. That's what they said. It's a fucking cord. I mean, doing all that.
Dude. It's ridiculous, man. It's ridiculous.
It's petty for just because it happened the other day. Popeyes automatically not giving you the honey for the biscuit. I have to ask for it. Like, that's just some common sense things we must
now, the honey was automatic. The jelly you used to have to ask for, right?
Man, we have to ask for the honey now. I'm pulled off thinking, oh, of course, why would they not add the honey? It should come attached to the biscuit.
The biscuits have fallen off anyway. The Popeyes biscuits have fallen off a little bit.
Not when you tell them to make it fresh. I sit in there for 10 minutes in the line. I'll sit there and be like, yeah. They say it's 10 minutes, sir. I said, I'll wait. Like, you sure? Yeah, I ain't got nowhere to be.
You willing to wait for the biscuits?
Yes.
Can I get to the yams? Okay. Remember Malik was here talking that clean eating yesterday. Go to his Facebook page and look at the recipes he put up yesterday. That's all I'm saying. He's left on here capping.
What do you mean?
Dude. Big cap. Big cap.
These are good recipes, though. Some of these is really good, though.
There's recipes for good eating, bro.
I'm telling you, you don't have to eat it all the time. But if this is your cheat day, come to my page.
Yeah. That's all you do is put cheat day stuff on your page.
Oh, no. Look, I got the abundance of strawberry treats. Look at that. Look at that. That's what you want right there, Shaun. That's on the Facebook page. You know what I'm saying?
Dude, I'm about to pull your Facebook
Look,
page.
I got you. Look, something like this is healthy for the viewers. This on the Facebook page right under it.
What is that, a strawberry shortcake?
Strawberry shortcake, and then right under there.
Oh, man.
Some of that. You know what I mean? Man, look, you become a chef at my page, you know.
Man. So I'm about to tap in my line. I play at 5:30, like I said. I had a full weekend. Enjoy basketball this weekend. Hopefully Notre Dame will get a nice head coach after this tournament, and things will start looking up
Let's
for
get
all
it.
three major sports, man. Baseball's doing their thing. I think hockey just lost that tournament best of for the Big Ten tournament to Michigan State, 2-1. Tough loss, but Notre Dame sports are in good shape. So for Left, I'm Shaun Davis. Have a great Thursday, but most of all, you got to make sure that you spin it different.